I would agree. All right. So those are the reasons to feel optimistic about the 2026 49ers. What are the reasons to feel pessimistic about the 2026 49ers? I mean, they got the best team in the league in their division, plus the Rams.
Well, I mean, to me, the number one reason to feel bad about the Niners is the biggest thing that you could do. I mean, as far as impacting a football team, is changing the people that touch the ball. And look at what the Niners have. Pearsall's been glass, has not been able to stay healthy. I know people are tired of me saying it. I'm tired of saying it. How about this? How about just fucking play? And then we don't have to say that anymore. And then Juwan Jennings is probably too expensive for them. And then the rest of their receivers are just either really young, like Watkins, and or really old, and Kendrick Bourne. He's a free agent. So, I mean, they don't have much at receiver. Ayuk's gone. Kittle's probably, even though he says he's back week 1, he'll be 33 and coming off an Achilles. And so, and they don't have a great young tight end on the roster. And then they don't have, a great offensive backfield either. I mean, it's CMC. Robinson's a free agent. Jordan James is unproven. They don't have a second running back. So, I mean, CMC's coming off a 450 touch season. I mean, they could be in a major crisis as far as how are they getting yards? How are they producing offense? Who are their receivers? Who's their runners? Who's going to catch the ball? I mean, it's a mediocre line at best. I think it's a more of a top tier quarterback, but so what? If you don't have any weapons, your weaponry looks potentially horrible because I don't know that Kittle's coming back. I don't know that JJ's coming back. I don't know that CMC is going to stay healthy. And they dominated the ball, and everybody else behind them did nothing. So I think they got a major crisis as far as the guys who handle the football.
It feels like for years there's always been one team the Niners had to go through, and for years it was Kansas City, and they never beat Kansas. They've never beaten Kansas City since Andy Reid's been there, since Kyle Shanahan's been there, and now it feels like it's Seattle. So you got to go through this Seahawks team, and what's frustrating is that like over the last 4 games, you beat them once week 1, and that one guy keeps bringing it up, and it's great. They did win that game, but they won it with defense. They held Seattle to 13 points. It was Darnold's first game there. It was Kubiak's first game there. It felt kind of fluky. What's a trend is the fact that the Niners offense hasn't been able to do anything against Seattle in the last 4 meetings. And let's look at the most important people on the offense. McCaffrey, I talked about him earlier against Seattle. The last 4 meetings, 3.4 yards per carry, 7.2 yards per catch, 0 touchdowns. And then Purdy, last 4 meetings, he's completing 69% of his passes, but he's averaging 175 yards per game, 6.6 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a 78 passer rating. So the Seahawks just have the Niners number on offense. And we've talked about what they have to do earlier. They got to beef up their offensive line. They got to get another running back. I don't know. I wonder if Kyle has the answers. If he brings back Debo, I would have to conclude that he doesn't have the answers. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that I do not want to see the welcome wagon back for all these has-beens. I mean, I don't care that you have a good relationship with him. Don't care. I don't care. And nobody else does either. And it's really just about, can these guys produce? And Debo couldn't produce last year. So what, he's going to be produced next year, 2 years after? It makes no sense. So enough of the welcome wagon, enough of the warmth and the kumbaya, and we're getting the band back together. No, don't get the band back together. It wasn't that good of a run the first time, and that you need to find the future. I mean, that's really it. You gotta get a bigger, stronger line. You gotta get a tougher, better runner, and you gotta come back better. I mean, you gotta found. Steve Young said it the other day on CanBR. He's like, "Hey, look," or I was on the Rich Eisen show. He's like, they got to go and find their next foundation players out of the draft, out of 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round picks. You're not going to, and this whole idea that, you just need to go backwards for the guys that you used to have. No. You need to find somebody who can run the Debo role, but it's not Debo anymore. So, I mean, it's just, I do understand that the Niners are warm. Lynch is warm. Shanahan's warm. They're warm people. They like the reunion idea. But guess what? The best personnel people are cold. and they don't like the reunion idea. Bill Walsh didn't do any fucking reunions. He didn't. He got rid of
Hey,
guys.
we broke up with you. No, you're coming back.
No,
Again, it'd be like the Rams bringing back Cooper Kupp. It's ridiculous. Let it
we
go.
put Roger on Plan B, but we brought him back. We said goodbye to Ronnie, but we brought him back.
Yeah.
No,
what
we
you doing.
never did that. And so enough with the warmth, and go find new guys. And if you can't find new guys because you're all out of ideas, because you're really the de facto personnel guy, then you need new personnel guys. But if you don't believe in your personnel guys to listen to them, and you're just going to go with, you and your other assistant coaches, and the players that you've played against and how you feel that they played in those, I mean, that's too limited. That's too, I want to see Kyle Shanahan back at the combine. I mean, either I don't want to see him at the combine at all, and then just don't involve him in the picks, or if he's going to have some final say on the picks, then get on the bird and go to the combine and meet these guys and put it all out there. I know he believes he can get a lot done in his office. It's all televised, but nothing, nothing beats meeting somebody in person and deciding what they're made of face to face.
One more thing that's at least cause for concern. Raheem Morris. I understand why they brought him in. They could have waited a little bit longer and gone after Jim Schwartz, who would have been a home run hire. Raheem Morris has certain things that are good, and he's probably better than Gus Bradley, although I don't know for sure. But this Niners defense was a big reason they won 12 games. It's the main reason they beat the Eagles in the playoffs. They really punched above their weight all year. They were coached really well. Are they going to punch above their weight with Raheem Morris, or are they going to be about as good as their talent level, which is, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listening to Dante Whitner cite those, sources, I think it's pretty clear that, if you're like one of these people that are like, hey, Raheem Morris, like you think Raheem Morris is just going to solve everything they have defensively, think again. I mean, it's not like, hey, everywhere Raheem has gone, top 5 defenses have followed. In fact, that's not the way it's gone. He's been in some great places. He does have a couple rings. I really think that the Niners had prerequisites that they wouldn't really share with us when they were talking about this job. Their prerequisites were they want to have a zone-based coverage on the back end, which pushes Morris in front of Schwartz. Schwartz wants to have a man-to-man based coverage. So I think that was one of their prerequisites. Another prerequisite, I think they like Johnny Holland. And I think they like Chris Kasarik. And I think they wanted those guys to stay. And I think with Raheem Morris, he can coach the DBs and allow those guys to stay. And so they get to keep continuity on their staff. So I think it has something to do with those factors. So when you factor in all of the things, Raheem, then, obviously you got to have a relationship with Kyle, and he does. And I think that probably pushed him in front of, and I think the Schwartz thing, I don't think the Niners for sure knew exactly how he was going to get himself free, if he could get himself free, if Cleveland was going to demand compensation. So I think that there were complications around him, but I think it's really has more to do with they want to play cover 3, cover 4. He does that. They want to keep Holland. He'll do that. They want to keep Kasarik. They'll do that. They want to stay with a 4-3 base. I think they're probably going to stay with a 4-3 base. So, I mean, I think there were prerequisites that I don't think we really got the full picture of what they were searching for.
One more reason, and then we'll get to super chats for pessimism. It looks like an overall trend to me. For years, the trend was the team with the best offense would generally win the Super Bowl. Brady, the McVay team, the Andy Reid years. I mean, it seemed like it was an offense. It was trending that direction. But the last 3 years, from the 2023 Chiefs to the 2024 Eagles to the 2025 Seahawks, it seems like those 3 teams all had flat out elite defenses. And it seems like to win the Super Bowl, you need to have a flat out elite defense until offenses catch back up to what these top defenses are doing. And it looks like the Niners are building through offense, which is fine. But at least maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like the trend in the NFL right now is the special units are on defense. And those are the teams with the best chance to win a Super Bowl. I would think that the Houston Texans are better positioned than the 49ers to win a Super Bowl next year, simply because the Texans already have that elite defense. They got to fix their offense.
I mean, I'm sure the Niners would push back and say, "Hey, look, man. Last year in the draft, we started off Mikael Williams, Alfred Collins, Nick Martin, Upton Stout, C.J. West. Our first 5 picks were all on the defensive side, so they would probably say, "Hey, man, we are making that commitment."
And
To
they
be
had
good on
Robert Saleh. It was great, but now you don't. And now you got Raheem Morris, and we'll see what those guys. I mean, you put the effort in, but we'll see if any of those guys are Devin Witherspoons or Nick Amon-Warries or, you know.
Well, I think there's something to be learned though from I do believe it's a copycat league. I do believe you can glean something from every team that wins. I think what you saw is that you got to have a big time defensive front line. I mean, look at the last 2 teams that have won.
Yep.
Seattle has such a good front that they can go with undersized boxes because you can't get past their front that much, and if you do, you've been nicked up a little bit, and then their super fast second level defenders shut you down. So they had a
Same with
big
the Eagles.
dominant. And look at the Eagle front. The Eagles had 8 sacks in the Super Bowl, Milton Williams and all these guys. So, yeah, you got to have dudes up front. And, Kalia Davis, Robert Beal, I mean, it's not good.
Also,
not
that like
good
one
enough.
gap wide 9 shit, no one else is using that. It seems like the dominant defenses are 5-man fronts with 2 high safeties and 1 D lineman playing 2 gaps. It's the Fangio scheme. I mean, that's what 15 years ago when Fangio was here, the front was Alden Smith, Justin Smith playing 1 gap, Ian Williams playing 1 gap, Ray McDonald as the 5 technique 2 gapper, and Ahmad Brooks setting the edge. That was the front. And those seem to be the defenses that are having the most success. Maybe it's time to ditch the wide 9 and the 1 gap defense. Like, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I think you are going to see a lot of 5-man front from Raheem Morris. I really do. I don't think you're going to see the exact same version of the wide 9. Now, I do think the Niners are going to be a 4-3 base. It's going to be a 4-3 base front, but I think you're going to see a ton of 5-man fronts with Raheem Morris, more than you saw this year.
S2 Blank says not sold. There's a lot of NBA players with the same injuries. What are you talking about? Substation stuff? NFL Niners for Life says besides Bosa, Kyle and John has been unsuccessful drafting in first round. Can you two burn it in their heads that they need to trade out and pick up speedy, durable, hungry starters? We beg you. They don't trade down very much.
Yeah, I think this was a classic year to do exactly that, though. Not that that first round picks aren't useful, but I would rather see them move down for like a pick in the 30s or 40s and get a couple extra picks, on day 2 and day 3. More picks in rounds 3, 4, and 5. I know they've died in the 3rd round. They've missed in the 3rd round 10 times, but I think the plan has been good to get 3rd round picks. You just have to make it work, and there's a little bit more risk involved. It's not as easy picking in the 3rd round. You need a little bit more drafting acumen. So hopefully they get it right. But yeah, I do think trading down is probably the smarter play.
Miguel G8GT says it's been 10 years of them missing on draft picks. What makes you think they'll switch up how they draft? What do they need to do to hit on first and second? Honestly, it's funny. I've been really tough on John Lynch all offseason. I still think they need another GM, but I keep going back and forth between is he bad at his job or is he not doing the job? And now I'm kind of going back to like, he's not the GM. Kyle's the guy.